As time ticks on, we get older. That's inevitable. During this process, there's some undesired side effects, like the loss of muscle mass and our strength will go down as well. So, since this is inevitable, what can we do to either slow it down or delay it as long as we possibly can before it kicks in and makes us shrivel up?
You just can't wait for me to die, can you?
This age related loss of lean mass is called sarcopenia. The median value of the rate of loss reported across studies is 0.47% per year in men and 0.37% per year in women. However, strength is lost more rapidly. This can be lost at the rate of 3 to 4% per year in men and 2.5 to 3% per year in women. Studies looking into the two in tandem found that the loss of strength is 2 to 5 times faster than the loss of mass, and this loss of strength is more consistent for the risk of disability and death than the loss of muscle mass is. Combine this loss of muscle mass with the fact that it's harder to gain muscle in general at an older age due to something that's called anabolic resistance. And this is because you have a less favorable anabolic environment when it comes to your hormones. They're less favored for growth. You have worse protein synthesis levels. You have more frailty and more mobility issues. You have a more continuous buildup of reactive oxygen species. You have more lipid infiltration, some more inflammation, more inactivity, and you're also way more likely to be working, so you are having less time to go to the gym and stay fit and active. So until Elon Musk comes along and merges us all with AI so we don't have to worry about any muscle wasting once we transform into our new cyborg bodies, what are the practical tips that we can apply now to slow down this process? Probably the best way you can possibly slow this down is to train while you're younger, to build up as much muscle mass as you can at a young age when the environment is a lot more anabolic and a lot more favoring to your growth, so that way your long-lasting effects of having that muscle will still be there by the time you start to deteriorate. One of the benefits of having a pre-existing training foundation set is the increase of myonuclei. That will directly result to having like a muscle memory effect. So even later on in age, it's easier to gain that muscle back because of the fact that you already had it at one point in your life. This is further shown when you look at how this process actually occurs in the body. Satellite cells are a type of myogenic stem cell, which just means it can differentiate into other types of cells, and myo just means it originates in the muscle. Satellite cells are required for hypertrophy, and they have shown that depletion of these cells prevents muscle fiber hypertrophy. They have also shown that satellite cell numbers on the myofibers decrease with age. This results in an overall decrease in the regenerative capacity of a muscle and the stunted ability to achieve more muscle hypertrophy as one gets older. The critical function of satellite cells is in enhancing muscle mass and function, but it's also been shown that they can contribute to myonuclear addition. More myonuclei content can supply your body with a long-lasting performance enhancement because of the fact that they do not undergo apoptosis, so that means they do not die when your muscles atrophy. This is also one of the reasons why someone who uses steroids will have a permanent enhancement over someone who is natural, even if they only take one cycle, because of the fact that they have more myonuclei content that's added from the steroid cycle, and then that will persist even after they are off the hormones. So given that knowledge, if we could find a way to increase the myonuclei content and increase the satellite cell content early on in life to the point where those gains will persist even through old age, that would be one way we can fight off age-related muscle degeneration. This is because you'll already have that myonuclear foundation set down there, so when you're trying to work out in the future, you'll already be able to get those gains back faster because you already achieved them in the past. All you have to do is utilize the muscle memory aspect that your body is already capable of doing. So the next logical question would be, how do you achieve this increase in myonuclei? How do you get it in the first place to build up that foundation while you're still young? And the answer to that is just train. You just have to build up a foundation and the myonuclei will go up in parallel with your hypertrophy. This has been shown in some other studies as a mathematical equation, which is correlating the amount of myonuclei in a muscle and the CSA of the muscle itself, which is the cross-sectional area, so the volume of the muscle itself. There are, however, some ways that you can theoretically supercharge this process and acquire more myonuclei through an overload period. This was demonstrated in a rat study that showed the effects of voluntary wheel running on satellite cells had a dose-dependent correlation where the more distance they ran, the more the percentage of satellite cells increased. This is noteworthy because of the fact that we know satellite cells can contribute to myonuclei on top of having critical roles in the muscle repair and regeneration processes. We have also seen this overload principle take effect in another study where they overloaded the muscle by partially ablating their major synergist muscle, so the muscle that's opposing the use of the muscle in the study, and then they tracked the single muscle fibers and visualized the CSA, the cross-sectional area, and also the change in the myonuclei content. They showed the exact same relationship, showing that when they overload the muscle and it has a lot more extra use, then the body adapts to that stimuli by throwing in a lot more myonuclei and throwing in a lot more myogenic stem cells to help repair and recover from the extra use. However, having an overload principle is not needed. It might perform a little bit of a benefit if you can add in more myonuclei, but I think the bottom line is if you have a training regime at all as a younger age, you will see a lot more benefits, and I think that's the best possible way you can try to prevent age-related muscle degeneration is just to have a training background, and you got to have that fundamental bottom line built up already before you reach older age. This is so you could basically bank your myonuclei, holding them for later and saving them for an environment where it's less favorable for you to hold or gain new muscle mass. Not only is this likely to help you to live a longer life, but you're likely going to be living a healthier life as well, with more mobility and more freedom to go do the things that you want to do when you have more free time, when you're retired and when you're older. This will give you the ability to be more active and stay fit through older age. So from the research, that looks like it is the best possible way to prevent or offset age-related muscle degeneration. Build up a foundation, acquire more myonuclei, so that way you'll hold on to that muscle mass longer in life, and you'll also be able to achieve those muscles back when you start working out later in life a lot easier and a lot quicker than if you didn't have that foundation already built. You're going to have a lot less favorable of an environment to grow when you're in that older age. So make sure you have that foundation before you get there. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you want some more videos like this. If you are looking for a new program, I got one that actually incorporates this myonuclear addition in the program itself. Make sure to check out my Fiverr, link in the description below.